Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight. This is a regular meeting of the Allendale Land Use Board at which formal action will be taken on the items listed on the agenda and upon any other matters which may properly come before the Land Use Board. The requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied through posting on the public bulletin board and in the municipal building and on the borough website and in publication in the record on January 13th, 2025, with copies being sent to the Ridgewood News and the Herald News. Certain agenda items will be open to the public for comment and/or testimony. The board will advise the public as to when such matters are open for their comment and/or testimony. Before we begin, if everybody join me in a salute to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. Members of the public, this is our annual reorg meeting. So we have some agenda items that we have to go through first before we get into other parts of the agenda. So I just ask you to bear with us. It shouldn't take us too long, but it's a lot of formalities that we just have to have on the record. So thank you once again for your watching us do this. The first thing that we need to do is that we need to do oath of office for Andrew Aguilera, for Tyler Yacarino, who is joining us, taking over for Joe Dall'Avisio, who we thank for his time and his help on this board. Tyler is one of our councilmen who will be sitting on this board now at all the time, or at least this year. And Tyler has been on the board before, for those who don't know, so he's pretty familiar with what we do on this board. And then for Joe Conti, who will be here, he'll be a little late, but we also have to go through the swearing in of him as well. So I leave this, I turn this over to you.
Chairman, we have to do attendance first.
Yes, I guess we could do that too. I apologize. Thank you very much.
Vice Chairwoman Bergen.
Here.
Board Member Warzala.
Here.
Board Member Petrino.
Here.
Councilman Yacarino.
Here.
Board Member Dallo.
Here.
Chairman Tirico.
Here.
Mayor Wasinski.
Here.
Board Member Butler.
Here.
And alternate Conti should be here shortly.
Okay. So now we can do the oath of office.
Yeah,
right
here so
now.
far we're missing some, right?
So you all really have to do, we're missing and don't forget. So it's really
Tyler.
just Tyler.
All set?
Ready to go.
Study, prepared, ready to go?
Little
Uh,
rusty.
You wouldn't mind standing up, Tyler, please.
Over here.
Stand up, please. Repeat after me. I
I, Tyler Edward Yacarino,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New
and
Jersey,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance the same
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States and in this state,
to the governments established in the United States and in this state,
country and township,
country and township,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office.
and that I will faithfully, justly, and
Impartially
impartially
and justly
perform, justly perform all the duties of
the office
the office
of the Borough of Allendale Land Use Board,
of the Borough of Allendale Land Use Board,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Thank you, Mayor, for the appointment.
Thank you and welcome.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Great. So the next on our agenda is the election of officers. The first that we have is a resolution LUB 25-01, order of voting. Linda, do you have any, just our regular order?
It's
Yep.
staying the same.
Same way as
Yes.
we've been having,
Mhm.
okay? So, I'm not gonna read through it. We all know what that order is. So, can I have a motion to accept the order of voting, please? Thank you, sir. Second,
Second.
Vice Chairwoman Bergen. Yes. Board Member Rosala.
Yes.
Board Member Petrino.
Yes.
Councilman Yakarino.
Yes.
Board Member Dallo.
Yes.
Chairman Sirico.
Yes.
Mayor Wasinski. Board Member Butler.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, the next that we have here, actually, I want to just insert something really quick. Greg Butler, you are now a standing member, if you may,
Thank you.
on the board. So thank you for accepting.
Promoted.
We appreciate it.
And
Okay,
your pay will reflect
yeah,
that.
so now we have a full board. Now we have a full board and we have one open alternate position. So Mary, you and I will probably talk about that at some point. Thank you. Okay, so the next resolution that we have is Resolution LUB 25-02, election of chair. I would like to stay in that position, but the board is open for nominations.
To nominate you.
Thank you.
If you will.
Thank you. Thank
Be
you.
the chair.
All right, we have a second. Second. Thank you, sir. Okay, Linda, can we take these all together? We have to do them all separately.
We can just say if the whole board agrees to this or anybody objects.
Okay. All right, let's do that. Okay. All right, and then as far as election of the vice chair, I'd like to nominate you. There you go. Okay. Do we have a second? Thank you, sir.
Second.
Okay. And then as far as secretary is concerned, I would like to, Greg, I'd like to have you do it, if you'd be so honored to do it.
You don't.
You don't have to do it.
I'm not sure what's involved, but
Not
okay.
Not a lot.
Okay. I can
Not a
do
lot.
that.
Sign and make sure everything is just moving along.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Accept. Okay. Do I have a second? Thank you, sir. Okay. So Linda, can we have a vote for the election of the officers?
Sure.
Myself as chair, Melissa, and Greg as secretary, please.
Okay. Vice Chairwoman Bergen.
Yes.
Board Member Rosala.
Yes.
Board Member Petrino.
Yes.
Councilman Yakarino.
Yes.
Board Member Dallo.
Yes.
Chairman Sirico.
Yes.
Mayor Wasinski.
Yes.
Board Member Butler.
Yes.
Thank you to everybody. We appreciate faith you put in us and letting us keep doing this. So, next on our agenda is a resolution for appointment of Land Use Board Legal Counsel. Mr. Kelly, I appreciate everything that you've done for the last year, and I look forward to continuing to serving you for the upcoming year, if you'd be so pleased.
I would certainly be grateful to be here. I've enjoyed it as well, and thank you for the vote of confidence and continued support.
So,
You.
do we have a motion to accept?
Make a motion.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Second.
Thank you. Linda, we're gonna do everything together again. Can we do that too, or we have to do separate?
You could do it all together.
Okay.
Happy to challenge, so you can run that list.
I'd like to run the list.
Yep,
I'd like
certainly.
to run the list. All right. The second, the LUB 25-06, this is Mr. Michael Freeland to be the board engineer, if you'd so be inclined.
Oh,
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Can I have a motion for that, please?
make a motion for that as well.
Thank you, sir. And do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. And as far as 25-07, appointment of the Land Use Board Planner, Mr. Ed Snakis, if you'd be so kind.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Privilege.
Thank you. We appreciate all your work too. Okay, and do I have a motion?
Make a motion for that as well.
Thank you, Frank. And do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Gallo, thank you. Right, and those. Okay, so Linda, can I have a roll vote, please, for those three positions, LUB 25-05, -06, and -07?
Vice Chairwoman Bergen.
Yes.
Board Member Rosala.
Yes.
Board Member Petrino.
Yes.
Councilman Yakarino.
Yes.
Board Member Dallo.
Yes.
Chairman Sirico.
Yes,
Mayor Wasinski.
Yes.
Board Member Butler.
Yes.
thank you. All right, the next resolution is LUB 25-08, time and place of land use board meetings for 2025. We were all provided a calendar. We all discussed it. I believe we all accepted it, but I have a modification that I would like to put before the board, please. instead of the meeting starting at 7:30, I would like to start them at 7 o'clock. And again, I don't know everybody's schedule. I don't know, if this creates a hardship for anybody. I personally, for me, I come out of New York, but I can usually, well, the trains don't get messed up. I'm okay. But I want to make sure that before we adopt this, if there's any discussion or acceptance of starting the meetings at 7 instead of 7:30. Any discussion from board members? Okay, good,
All good.
all good?
Is that
Yeah.
it?
Okay, all right,
And I will add, and the mayor can speak to this too, we moved our council meetings to 7 o'clock as well.
yes. Thank you, sir. So, can I have a motion, please? And obviously the place is here, so that hasn't changed. Okay. The dates are remaining as Linda had published to us in a separate memo. So can I have a motion to accept the schedule, the place, and the meeting starting at 7 o'clock? Can I have a motion for that, please? Motion. Thank you, sir. All right.
Vice Chairwoman Bergen,
Yes.
Board Member Rosala. Yes. Board Member Petrino.
Yes.
Councilman Yakarino.
Yes.
Board Member Dallo.
Yes.
Chairman Sirico.
Yes.
Mayor Lucinski.
Yes.
Board Member Butler.
Yes.
So, Linda, relative to that, it's gonna have to be renoticed, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the
Okay,
paper.
so it'll be renoticed, and then I know that you were taking the initiative to send out meeting notices to everybody.
Sorry, Linda.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that coming in because it helps us all. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you to adjust that and then finish it out for the through the balance of the year, please. Okay,
Yes.
all right. The last part of this is resolution LUB 25-09, adoption of bylaws for the land use board. These really didn't change. Council, I mean, they didn't change from last year.
If it didn't change, we could just carry over the adoption.
I mean, maybe with the exception of the time.
Right. For 2025, we could just carry it over, so the resolution could be considered, a motion could be made to adopt them. Effectively, the adoption is misnomer in the sense that they simply carried over from year over year. And we can just move forward and proceed accordingly.
Board? Okay, all right, so can I have a motion
Make a
to,
motion to adopt
thank you,
the bylaws with the exception of changing the meeting time. To 7 p.m.
thank you, sir. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Wait, Linda?
Vice Chairwoman Bergen,
Yes.
Board Member Rosala.
Yes.
Board Member Petrino.
Yes.
Councilman Yakarino.
Yes.
Board Member Dallo.
Yes.
Chairman Sirico.
Yes.
Mayor Lucinski.
Yes.
Board Member Butler.
Yes.
I think we've got everything then covered for our review
Reorg.
report.
I believe
Okay.
we do.
All right, any comments on anything that we just did from the board? Okay, thank you. Seeing none, we'll bring it back. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the December 16th and 18th Land Use Board regular meetings. I reviewed them. I gave them some changes. I don't know if there was any discussion on them. Okay, seeing none, can I have a resolution, please, to approve the minutes of December 16th and 18th, 2024 Land Use Board regular meeting, please?
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Vice Chairwoman Bergen.
Yes.
Board Member Rosala.
Yes.
Board Member Petrino.
Yes.
Board Member Dallo.
Yes.
Chairman Sirico.
Yes,
Mayor Lucinski.
Yes.
Board Member Butler.
Yes.
thank you. All right. So now we'll get into the regular part of our meeting. So, council, I'm going to ask you, please, to comment based on the Calvary Lutheran Church resolution. I believe you had some information from a legal standpoint, please.
I do. So on the resolution that's scheduled for adoption tonight for the Calvary Lutheran Church, I had an opportunity at length to speak a few times with the applicant's counsel. He is asking to wordsmith a few provisions related to whether or not he needs anything produced from DEP to satisfy conditions of the amended approval. Mr. Breland and I had an opportunity to confer as well. We gave him a chance at 2 different sentences so far that were acceptable to us from an engineering and legal standpoint. He said, you know what, let me think about it. Maybe we could wordsmith this a bit more. Do not adopt it this evening. He's trying to avoid the situation where he has to come back and seek to amend a resolution, potentially on notice if it relates to a condition of the approval, if it would be on notice. So they've asked to carry this forward to the next hearing cycle. We agreed to do that. It's of no event to us to do that. We'll continue to work with Mr. Vettery in the interim and see whether or not we can agree on some language. There's really not much substance to the language, but I understand his caution as to the way it's worded. I think he understands our caution as to why we've worded it this way. We'll see if we can maybe meet in the middle. So this should be on for the February meeting. You'll probably see an updated resolution draft, whether or not it's changed. We'll let the board know whether or not it's the same document or whether or not there is a red line to it and why for your consideration between now and the next meeting.
Thank you, sir. So there's nothing we have to do other than that.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Any questions from the board on this? Right, seeing none. Now we get into the public part of our meeting. First on our agenda, Mr. Snipes. I believe you have, some comments, please, on the amended land use, plan, the amended plan for our master plan.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening, board members, Mayor. What I have for the board this evening is a copy or a draft copy of the amended land use plan. I brought in a hard copy for you as well. I know you just received this, so the purpose for tonight, what I'll do is to give you a quick overview of what the document has within it and to highlight certain things that might be of interest for you to review, and then for us to schedule in the near future, maybe a work session to discuss it a little bit further, or we can go right to a public session if we find certain things are in order. But yet, I wanted to give the board this opportunity to just kind of give you an overview. The document draft is dated January 14th. I see that I have a lot of work to do on the members of the board based upon certain changes tonight. So I'll make some changes to that page of the document itself.
Thank you.
But I'll be using the table of contents more as an outline for you as far as what's in the document. That's on page 4 of the document. First off, we give sort of the general overview, but in section 2, we talk more about the emerging issues as it relates to land use in the borough. Those are interesting points that are actually carried forward from the prior land use plan. And we brought it forward in order to maybe update certain things within it and or bring any new things to light within that section, excuse me. And we talk about regional issues as well as local issues. So that's something of interest to the board. You may want to review the text within there to see if there's anything else you may want to add as far as emerging issues, but I thought I captured most things as I've seen them happen through the borough and or what we've seen occur in other municipalities, such as warehousing, things of that nature, in order to talk about those specific topics for the board's information. In addition to that, we have the master plan goals and objectives and policies. You know this because we did provide to the board, except for Councilman Yacarino, he did not see the goals and objectives, but yet on the goals and objectives in the document, you'll see also a highlighted section of text that is located on page 12 of the document that identifies a new goal that talks about warehousing. And that would be something that I'd like you to take a look at, see what you think of it, see if there's any tweaks that are necessary for that. In accordance also with the municipal land use law, your land use plan should include the land use categories within the municipality. I think I touched on this before, but just for purposes of recap, the land use categories really summarize the various land uses within the community, formulating a master plan or land use plan for where your zoning occurs within the municipality. So that should generally be consistent with your zoning ordinance, although it dives a little bit deeper in the map into what our public properties might be, open space, things of that nature, in order to identify them from a land use perspective. In addition to that, we also do relationship to other plans. We talk about the state strategic plan. The state plan is currently in draft form. The new evolution of everything since we started this document is that the New Jersey state plan is a draft document that's available. We're still trying to get a copy of where that's at in order for us to interact on that document and see if there's any recommended changes we would recommend to the state as to changes within, as they might affect the borough itself. What I'm talking about there is that they have certain land use classifications or growth areas that they've outlined. Mostly where we've been since the prior version of the state plan is that we've been in the PA1 or planning, metropolitan planning area designation. That's where growth and development should occur. Although we'd like them to capture certain things like the celery farm and environmentally constrained areas that should be identified in the state plan as areas that should not be in a growth area, things of that nature. So I'll be tying in with that component of the state plan. We're doing this for multiple municipalities, so I will be able to give you a lot of synopsis on that as it relates to the state plan. But we have to, according to rules, we have to identify relationships to that plan as far as the land use plan is concerned. Obviously, our timing may not coincide with the final document, but at least we'll be addressing the status of the state plan and our relationship to it. Also, the Bergen County Master Plan we've identified, and then also relationship to other master plans within the surroundings or zoning within the surrounding municipalities that surround Allendale. The purpose for that is really looking at relationships, see if there's incompatible relationships between zoning and or land use patterns. The last section, or I'm sorry, section 6 prior to the last section, is the background analysis. In this, we sort of give snapshot updates from census data as to where the community is currently as it relates to local demographic changes, whether they be the population, the age of the population, any demographic changes since the last census. In addition to that, we look at housing changes, what types of housing that may be within the community, as well as what might have changed since the last census. And then we look at economic profile changes to see if there's any issues that should be addressed within those cohorts. And the last section is a mandatory section that talks about public electric vehicle infrastructure. What that is really addressing is whether or not you should be planning for where public electric vehicle charging stations could be placed. Obviously, the most prominent and maybe most appropriate location would be your commuting areas, where you have your commuter parking lots. So that might be a location where we can start planning for the idea of adding additional electrical vehicle charging stations, or maybe for commuters and to serve the general public. That's according to statute. We have to have that in this document. So I took a quick stab at that. I'm open to any other recommendations this board may have. And then in addition to that, you've seen these two documents. One is an existing land use plan map. We provided that at the end of the document. And then in addition to that, a land use plan map. That land use plan map is the physical form of the actual text that is provided in section 4, which is the land use categories. That map shows the depiction and distribution of land uses within the community. And so with that, that really is the summary of the overall document. I could go into more detail depending upon what the board's preference is, but I understand you have a number of other items on the agenda. So I thought I would at least introduce the document to you tonight. And then from there, we can schedule a work session, maybe just to go over it in more detail. Any questions or recommendations to add to the document? Add those at that time. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I just want to be clear. Obviously, the state isn't set yet, so we don't really.
State plan.
The state plan. And what about Bergen? Did you say Bergen County?
Bergen County has a new update to their master plan. We did touch on what they have in there as far as goals and objectives. It's really to look at what those goals and objectives might be and how they may or may not relate to the borough. I think they're all generally consistent with our goals as they stand right now, which is like open space, preservation of open space, trying to encourage more sustainability in development patterns, looking at areas where growth may occur, where it's trying to encourage downtowns to be more successful, things of that nature. So that is something we're consistent with. But as far as the new state plan, it's hard because it's not adopted yet. It's really in draft form. So really, we've left sort of a section in there that talks about its status, but that we also identify that we have general features that are consistent with prior statements within the state plan.
So if we were to move forward with this, adopt, it goes through everything we have to do.
Right.
There's a possibility that we may have to revisit this.
What do you,
in your opinion, what do you think? In your opinion,
right?
How about that? I'll put it that way.
In my
your
opinion, it may or may not cause us to have to amend this document further. And the document can always be amended. You can always amend the document further, but at the same time, you're curious of whether or not we should move forward or not. As to timing, I would say not knowing what the state's timing is for their final adoption, because we need to go through this cross-acceptance process of interacting with the state through our various agencies. And the fact that this was supposed to be available back in April 1st, and it really just came out just recently, knowing there's time that's required in this. I would say let's not wait, in my opinion. Let's just adopt this document. If there is something of consequence that we find, let's amend the document later. It's not that hard to amend the document as it relates to that.
Yes, my recommendation would be for all of us to, just read through this and see if there's any comments. If we do have comments, would you like us to email you or email them to Mike and then he can send them all out to you?
It's probably best to send them through Linda. I
Through
would say,
Linda?
From a legal perspective.
Okay.
But just so everybody has them, and then maybe I come and I present them to the board and we can have that conversation from there. Just so everyone is getting it
Okay.
on the same wavelength.
Yes, Mayor, that's, I agree with you. I also know there's other people that would like to agree with you.
Yeah.
And then a related component to this is the hazard vulnerability assessment study. That document I'll have for you like over the next week or two.
Okay.
And that will be a document that'll be a sister document to this, that will show how we are addressing issues of hazard vulnerability.
Just out of curiosity, and it may be off base to this thing, but given what we're seeing going on in California, is there anything we might want to consider for this?
It's
And what we saw here in the fall.
right, as we saw certain things happen
Uh-huh.
in nearby locations. It's something where we did address, and it's interesting, as I first started with this, and the hazard vulnerability assessment studies are new. As I first started with this, might recall me saying, it didn't seem probable. Now we're seeing that potentially there certain things can be a condition. But yet, I think more importantly, what we're more susceptible to is smoke, impact of smoke and things of that nature. Plus, at the same time, we should be looking at our forested areas to see if in fact there needs to be some bedding of, not understory, but
Underbrush,
underbrush.
is that what they call it? Underbrush or something?
Underbrush, it's also detritus or fall leaves, things of that nature, to see if any of that needs to be managed in some way. I think what's more important is that we look at our region and see where the impacts might be from a regional perspective. Probably not on a local scale, because we don't necessarily have, if you had a number of state parks or county parklands that were of substantial size, then I would start to think that that's probably a more important feature to be interacted with the hazard vulnerability study. I think more importantly, it's the issue of smoke impacts of that, whether or not there's any centers that we can set up for temporary purposes. We do have an OEM plan that the county requires of all municipalities. I know that's being currently reviewed and vetted. So what we will have is something that maybe contributes to that type of a document. So yeah, it's surprising and it makes you think.
Perhaps just to close it out, I know that you touch on other towns around us here. I'm curious because I just went to that when you said parks.
Right.
We know Mawa has. Okay, so I'd be curious to see if perhaps you could look into what they're doing.
Sure.
If there are and all that would fit Allendale
Absolutely.
for that.
And it's interesting, this is such a new element of the master plan. We are interested in seeing what others are coming up with, because we're all sort of trying to figure out exactly from a municipal perspective what we can be doing.
I think we were lucky we had a precursor with October.
Yeah.
Locally, but then this whole mess that's going on. Okay. All right, and the final thing too, we kept talking about electric. Okay. Just kind of thinking ahead, because I've done this with you a few times already.
Right.
And we've gone through and tried to look forward, hydrogen or some other, I don't know if you want to put it under a master alternate fuels.
That's what I used, was more of an alternate fuels
Okay.
recommendation
Okay.
in the document, from a goal and objective standpoint. But yet in the hazard vulnerability study, that's where that specific statement is still in there. So as part of your master plan, which is what that document will be, you do have that covered. Okay, so it is in there. But we could make it redundant in order for it to be clear, because things get lost over the years.
Maybe it might not hurt,
It might not hurt, might not
it might not hurt. Especially given some of the stuff, some of what we had looked at, some other electric things that come first, right, or were being discussed. All right,
absolutely.
Board members?
I think you gotta read it.
Okay. So please, board members, please read through this, please direct the questions to Linda. So that we can get the answer. Other than me.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I don't know what that date is.
All right, thank you, Ed.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Next on our agenda,
Mr. Chairman?
yes, I'm sorry,
Mr. Conti?
yes.
I state your name,
Joseph Conti,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States and in this state,
and to the government established in the United States and the state,
county and township,
county, and township,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
and I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of this office as member of the Borough of Allendale Land Use Board
all the duties of this office as member of the Allendale Land Use Board
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So, thank you, Constance. Thank you.
That?
Thank you.
Thanks, sis. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, so next on our agenda is application file number 2024-15, Brett Benowitz and Sandy Jabato, 43 Colonial Drive, Allendale, 07401, block 1206, lot 14. The application is for an addition and a covered patio pursuant to 270-64A, parentheses 2, and 270-37A, parentheses 2. This is being carried from the meeting of November 13th, 2020. Welcome. Have a great.
You'll probably voice by you.
Yeah, go ahead. All right.
If you're both going to testify, which I assume you might, it'd be easier that way. So if you wouldn't mind both raising your right hand. Well, actually, first, let's state your name for the record. If you could spell your last name so we can capture on the record, please, one at a time. And Mayor, we will qualify you. You'll give your qualifications short. For now, let's just get you sworn in. So if you both please raise your right hand. You both swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You may proceed. And if you're going to start, maybe we'll just get your qualifications. I know you've testified before here, but just to get on the record for the sake of it, yeah. Current and in good standing.
Do it. Okay, as always, thank you.
I'll present everything, but I'll, any questions.
Okay.
They were here for a side setback variance. So then we're right next to Kevin Boston. We're adding, a small additional here house for a small the bathroom. We're adding about 200. this was a check out the, we said, very quickly, get that. First, structure, the single story, the lower side, the lower side of the slope to go along that property line. The corner of the structure, that would be 20, the, that part of the, so, but here is very small and see how that is for right now, right extent that required setback.
Any questions from the board?
Just for the record, on sheet A10, where you outline the distances from in proximity, I guess, to the property line just north of you, and then I guess the closest, perhaps the closest that you're gonna be, if you could just go over those dimensions.
So I think, that of the cover. that rear property line, that rear property line on Putney Drive. The corner of the property, that building, line, we do that 149, the other property, but very irregular shape property line. So we kind of need a bunch of dimensions. So, the house that sits in the middle, that hugs to the side, and it hugs to that side of the property line. And it's
The highest part of the addition is how high? Only one story.
Is there current screening around where the pool equipment is today? Or will people look to be exposed to the neighbors lot 13?
after we not put, around it. We haven't done a full landscape plan. Property, it's not free. That's not the intent. I think it was nice, because we're gonna walk around it anyway, to get to the, get that.
Okay. Thank you.
On the planning for shed to the right, or there's, or
Yeah, for all. But, and then just to the right of there is where the school equipment is, okay? So instead of pushing it further, right there, we're just down. Oh, that's.
Okay. That's what we were, that's the question.
Yeah, we don't want to then have a. But those other boxes are, they're there today.
Okay, so the shed, and just to be clear, shed, and then the two, as you said, two boxes to the right of that, as depicted on the map. Those are right. Okay.
Any other questions for board? Michael?
I don't really have much to add, Mr. Chairman. I mean, it's a one-story addition. It's certainly a unique shaped piece of property on the far side of the house is that easement along with the stream. So a floodplain, flood hazard area. That certainly limits the options, where an addition could go. And again, like I said, it's a one-story addition that's gonna finish similar to the existing structure. I did want to note that this could be the first house where I've seen the downspouts painted to match the underside of the roof, so that I guess when you look up, you don't notice it. So I would imagine, the care will be taken to make sure that the addition matches the rest of that. A primary concern we had was, making sure that the pool equipment was not going to be located to create a nuisance to the neighbor. It sounds like they're going to move that around to the back, go closer to the property line.
And considering, again, addition to the other side, towards the other side of the house. With it there, there.
Yeah, there's an easement on the other side of the house along with the brook and the stream encroachment. That would prevent anything from being really constructed at the opposite side of that.
So rephrasing what you just said, in your opinion, for building something like this, best location.
I think it's a reasonable location, and I think given the fact that it's a one-story addition that's gonna be finished similar to the existing house. I don't think it's gonna be discernible as to any property.
Sir, so we'll call you up. Okay, for comments. But thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, board members, any other questions? Okay. All right, now I will open this up, sir, please, to the public for comments, questions, or anything on what you heard or comments on this applicant. You come up and say your name, please. Thank you.
So
We'll have to get you on the record.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
have
we
to
gotta
get your
get
name on the
everything
record and assuming, so let's get your name on the record first. If you spell your last name, provide an address, please.
it's Alex, Alexander Bray. We're on.
Okay, so I assume that you will do more than just ask questions. So you can ask questions of the applicant based upon their direct testimony they offered tonight. You can also offer comments. Let's assume you're going to do all in one. We're going to have to swear you in, sir. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony provided with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Please proceed, sir.
Yeah, so there's no questions, comment. We're 9 people listed. Quite the impact. Our backyard, there's a pool there. Right opposite. We always knew that house was very close. On ours, 99. But I didn't know there was a 20 setback. The house was already 20 over the setback. Right before that. Now, our concern is that addition to people already 20 feet over. We want to think that, a couple of feet further. The bottom line is part of that. Area. One of, that's where heights were. Houses, one on top. Nice thing about this. In room, we have a lot of trees around, so basically, we can't see any of it. And I think our issue is the future. If we look at solar houses, say, someone comes in and says, yeah, you have a great house. That back rule, if grandfathered in, without, all right now. In fact, we have built on the other side. We didn't do that yet. If there was no way to build over there.
Were there other options?
Look at other options. Yeah, that's right on. The first place well there. So, great. Well, we're also that was that house. We're going to so for the healthiest.
It's helpful on your plan. I'm not sure, Mr. Miranda, you may be able to see it there. You actually call out a pinch point between structure to structure distance, I believe on your plan set.
Sheet 10.
Yeah, from proposed addition to the structure at that pinch point. So there's a dimension there. That may not help, Mr. Morandi, but it's a nice illustration to show, the distance.
I've gone through all of that.
Okay.
Granted, we did work on our house in 2008. We came up with that's. We were in by them. Previous owners had issues with, drainage. They went to the town. They didn't know about it. Bottom line is we spent thousands of dollars to reroute our drainage. I just think. Yeah. We look at setback. Already over by. Fire.
Encroachment. Fortunate. I don't know, dimension is there, but it seems like it cuts almost into the center of that easement and then gets even closer, off the center line of the easement. And considering the flood problems that we had in the fall, I don't know what the setbacks are from that brook, if they've changed, like, you could even go closer there.
Yeah, I mean, this,
We had substantial rain that impacted a lot of this area.
yeah, this, I mean, the stream encroachment line, that's on the tax maps, it's from the old one.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I'm
now
saying.
you
I don't
have the
think
new
it's on
flood
the-
hazard area regulations that establish floodways, floodplains, and riparian buffers. I would imagine that, you know, what's illustrated here, like I said, it's representative of what the old rules are, but, you know, the new rules set it, in almost every circumstance, additional buffers beyond.
That's what I'm saying. So even if we were looking at the other side, I don't, that line doesn't really depict where the new stream encroachments are, which are probably a lot closer to that side yard.
Look at, not the size, but possibly divided over, or that sort of get it where you're more aligning with the existing building. That, they're trying to do those, that playground. Playground. And that room.
But if you kept the room at the size, just turn it 90 degrees, then you put the windows, then that would start to change some of the encroachment. Corner for the other kitchen. And maybe put the back 90 degrees. But I know you're sacrificing windows. I know you're sacrificing. Yeah.
But I think it's up. So.
And I guess just for clarification, look at sheet 8-1. The existing dwelling setback is roughly 20 feet. Setback, proposed addition itself would be roughly 20 feet setback to the stairs, right? The attachment stairway, that's actually 18 feet, and it's going to be located closer to the property line than the existing.
That part, the corner that's closest to the drive.
That's kind of that outdoor kitchen. What is that? I mean, is that kind of shielded by anything? Just to, and I know there's that staircase on the side. I'm just like to just kind of sky, like movement on that.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, except there could be land buffer that I think that the veterans are amenable to having a landscape buffer along the property line. So that there is that evergreen.
Wait, I guess I was thinking with the outdoor kitchen side of the addition where it's kind of, but you think it'd be maybe more central to where their kitchen, although I don't want to really touch that, but just trying to think if that'll better shield you first. Still, there was the playroom. I don't know.
That was actually gonna be my question. What if you eliminated the stairs too?
At that. That's what we're going to do here.
So the addition, the 15 by 11, 17, that room functions as what? In the floor plan? Living space. Okay.
So, summertime of the outdoor. Well,
I understand the window package that you have in the playroom. You know, you want to have windows there, but had you explored the addition, as you show it, sliding over to meet the current kitchen wall and just lessen the impact to the right side, you know, property, that's fairly, you know, and then obviously that helps the outdoor kitchen if that's all sliding over.
Almost Mary, making that whole side just like you're drawing straight. Eliminate the stairs. Keep the biggest,
They could relocate the stairs.
or relocate the stairs. Yeah, okay, or relocate the stairs.
relocate them to 3 feet.
No.
For the next.
Any other questions or comments?
No, I mean, my preference would be. And request a variance, but it's gonna show up in the meeting. Back. Picture. Picture takes its way. For the far side. Found out.
Barry, if you could come back, also, perhaps show some landscaping. Okay, so that we could all see that as well. Please. Third February. Yes, they would be available 10 days. Okay, hey, see when. I don't, well, that's the next question. Thank you. How are we in February?
Cool.
Could be March. So,
I think I have the,
what's the March date?
On the 19th.
March 19th.
Okay.
No, if, I don't know. I guess if you were really quick, we have a continuation of a big application, and then we have one residential application. So if it was quick, we could probably be quick. I think maybe we could just, if there's other questions, I can field those.
Well, that's, yeah.
That I
Yes. All right. So you have any additional questions?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Any other members of the public with any questions relative to what you heard? Okay, none. Bringing it back to the board. Board questions as to what Mary requested here, please. Anybody? Okay. John?
No, I think if looked at that box in the back, slide it over, that's a big piece of the puzzle there. That changes the bathroom and access as well, and I think at least opportunity.
Slide it over, rotate the back. Yeah. Keep the office the way it is, versus that. There.
And you'll have those plans available. So we're gonna work,
Turn it around.
okay, all right, so we'll work for the February meeting. Linda,
Sorry?
all right, we're gonna try and plan
We'll
for
have
this
to-
for the February meeting.
We'll have to carry it very.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
Mark,
for all the
unless you're
legal,
gonna
yeah.
renotice, we'll have to confirm tonight, so
Please.
I guess we're carrying to February with the caveat that you may not get reached, you may come in February and be kicked back out the door, and then another date will be announced. And Mr. Morandi, for your purpose, and anybody else here that's here on behalf of Connects for this application, you will not get another notice in the mail, there won't be another certified mailing, there won't be another publication, the periodical. Tonight is gonna be your announcement for you to make a note to return, should you desire, to that next meeting. For now, it's anticipated to be the February, Linda, what is the date, February?
Well, February 12th,
February 12th.
at 7 PM. Our new time is 7 PM.
All right, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Quick. Yeah.
We're done. That's it, yeah, all right, oh, all right, thank you, thank you, thank you. What's your face? Right, the briefing statement. Okay, all right. Yeah, they're fine. That's fine. Let them finish.
Yeah, no, I was just putting it on there.
That was what every day. All right. All right, we're switching up the agenda. The next on our agenda is going to be applicant file 2024-13, Louis Clemens, 65 New Street, Allendale, 07401, block 2204, lot 17. It's a proposed second-story addition on an existing dwelling, front yard setback pursuant to 270-22, 270-57B, and 270-37A parentheses 4, carried from the December 16th, 2024 meeting. So, council, welcome back. Happy New Year. Hope you're feeling better.
Yes.
Okay.
Like my voice won't be as scratchy.
Sure. All right, so, Mr. Yacarino is going to.
I'm going to recuse myself from the following two applications in the remainder of the meeting as I was not present for the previous.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay. So. Have a good evening.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Gail, Happy New Year. Thank you. So you can go ahead and get started. We know why you left. You were trying to work with the board for a tweak. You're expert. So far, we've had your architect testify. He's been sworn and qualified. We'll take, very good. Then we can move forward, Gail. So please.
So just by way of background, Gail Price, from our law firm, Price Hughes. You know, since we're here in December, we took several recommendations. There's recommendations concerning the things and how we started with that. I thought we addressed everything. Now I think with all of these issues that we have done that. Before I call our architect record, I just wanted to briefly detail the things that we have. Added planting. Collected by one of the homeowners. Have our own separate neighborhood. Several internal switches allow us to accommodate lift rooms, correctly elevation, stable roof stuff up at the end of last month. We or to, even though we had testimony that the slope on the property is virtually non-existent and it's flat, we encourage you to drainage on site. So we've now indicated the location here of where the HVAC units are for instance, after dry well, and I had no data just confirmed that we would work with your engineer. I didn't want to try to guess on that, so we made a specific note on the plan that would be in conjunction with your engineer in terms of location. We have provided additional screening around the facility. We have now designed a front porch that runs the length of the front of the home. Whether this was a straight flat wall, so we added that porch. Similarly, we requested back not to have a flat surface. We remove a portion of that 3-foot. All of that has reduced our square footage from that time we were here. So I'd like to just have our architect confirm so the record is prepare and submit revised plans with the request that the neighbors were able to come as well. So we have that.
Right there.
That's good.
Should be okay.
Main architectural changes, section, section, for what area you have written. Or, floor plan. Order of the building. Take property line. So,
Then, account for area. One more than. I thought to illustrate by getting areas of construction that should in the front yard setback major, one of which was then the like George.
And you're just, that hatch is just saying second story structure. So, so basically the footprint you're showing matches the existing footprint. With the exception, I guess, of the rear, the bump out in the rear.
But that is correct.
I'm just asking for clarification. For further
The first presentation, I'm not sure, the first presentation was higher first the presentation.
But to be clear, right? The footprint of the home, the foundation of the home, that's it currently. And what you're depicting here in the crosshatches is the second story addition.
Right. Because even if probably it's a footprint as you go up, it's still an encroachment, perhaps not a footprint, but in a height.
In height.
Okay. Well beyond height, pervious coverage at it.
So the variance. At the last meeting, I had to talk to, lighting. Other people. Or not do anything.
That was my recollection.
I think all we marked was A1 at the last meeting, Gail, so we'll be up to A2 to mark this today's date.
Update.
based on the proximity home. You, one home is planted.
Right.
Okay. It was to show the proximity, they wanted a section, elevation, and you did a map to go ahead and pick that, which portion does it?
Well, I thought you would see the front porch, and then the east one. Or that go all the way.
Or roof line. You wouldn't see the bridge. Yeah.
Yeah, section. I yes, an application section perspective. I after both that. Thing, that.
You see the deck and actually probably the first one, which is the garage being one story, so that looks like it's the first. You know, of the design, where it's all stories and monstrosity. And it's like you scale back based on the plan. So I just don't feel like it's accurate representation. Like,
That is, have that refined with perspective. Want a three-dimensional model.
I just want, you know, what's shown on the plan should be representative, what's going to, and not just according to the, again, I thought scaled back.
We did.
Log in, it's a great. Doesn't. Okay.
Any consideration given shortening the porch of the front? Because the frontage is being reduced from 20 feet to 16 feet because of the porch. I thought one of the discussions was that we're going to shorten the porch, mitigate that. There, I guess, but going 20 to 16 feet, if the porch were short, mitigate that problem. So maybe a suggestion.
In other words, the porch ended before at the house versus the garage.
Just after that was your story.
Yeah.
And then that takes care of that,
Right.
that issue.
Yeah.
And it's really it's a porch that sort of dead ends out by at the finish, at the start of the garage.
Correct.
Or nothing above it.
There's nothing
above it. Yeah. Plus you have another sidewalk, you have the sidewalk to the driveway, so it does.
You could up the sidewalk closer to the house.
Right.
So if the porch was to end, that's a two-story part against the garage. That would eliminate the 16 inches, and potentially you could move the walkway closer to the home. Because, so the board members point is that it seems like this porch just kind of ends. There's no step down or stairs or anything like that.
You could end it anywhere.
So you could, yeah. Yeah. So you have 6 columns across the front of the house. You have 6 columns across the front of the house. If you were to stop it at say column, okay, eliminating the last 2
In front of the garage.
in front of the garage. Thank you.
Basically.
Board comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't serve a purpose. It really just,
I think it helps the elevation.
Yeah. Yep.
The applicant's amenable to that change?
That's fine. So that would mitigate the variance. That's the. We would be out on the lot, but by tucking out.
Essentially, they put right of the
No, I think the changes are positive. Yeah, the rear's good. I just would like to make sure that if we do move ahead, that in that area, that the, that back, I guess the north corner on New Street there, that there isn't any type of accessory such as maybe a generator or anything that goes in that spot, that it kind of stays open so that there is nothing. I think every changes are all fine. Thank you. Right. Any other questions? Okay. Public for this. All right, I am now going to open this up to the public for comment on the testimony that you just heard just now. Please come up, state your name. All right.
Evening, Christopher Keller,
Mr. Keller, this will be just questions of the applicant's witness at this time, based on the testimony you heard tonight. You have comments.
You have comments.
So
one comment.
there'll be time,
Objection to the application.
so there'll be a time at the conclusion of the application where you come back up, and, because we'll have to swear you in for that, Mr. Keller, and you can come up then if that's all right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, I bring it back to the board. Council.
I have our planner, who I'd like to call just to confirm.
You're suggesting we're gonna do the Diet Coke version of the planning testimony. Yeah,
I just want to get it in
very good.
2 years of this. We'd like to make sure that, so if I could call Mr. Foster.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Coker, how are you, sir?
Fine.
You as well. Would you please state your name for the record, sir?
Michael F. Walker, J.A.R. 356 Franklin Avenue. Planner. Right.
And Ms. Coker, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir.
I heard the words of breathing, I get that on have a long nights. Never. My life. Thank you, sure. This application is the variance from the front setback requirement of 35 feet. The unique aspect of house one. That home, front of the home is not parallel. They are, it's canted and pointed toward the corner of the other. Home, diagonal. Also, looking at area here, while the major they were coordinated, and it makes a great deal of sense. If you strike a line 90 degrees from the front side, measure that line 2 feet right away. That line produces dimension 43 feet. So, and what that is, the average distance from the house to the street. Obviously, that creates a V-shaped open space that essentially provides, on average, probably not that easy, but following calculation. But on average, mitigates impact from the corner location, one or one toward one street, the other toward the other street. I think that's a significant factor for further mitigating calculation, in addition to the adjustment made in the left of the porch. Furthermore, this application somewhat noteworthy in that it adds of the height of the building to accommodate two stories. I think a good deal of the product pathomestic shape of the existing home is that it is not consistent with a two-family, two-story, but a two-story character. If you take a radius of 300 feet around the site, somewhat greater than 200-foot notice, will count 14 homes. Homes only in the construction site, one additional home is one story. So the established appearance that two stories, which indeed is permitted by the zoning. In that context, that's another mitigating factor, as it produces a kind of significant proof that we're pursuing or categorized in C2 variance, where the benefit outweighs the detriment. The benefit is not endure to the applicant. It must benefit the surrounding neighborhood. By becoming more consistent with that established physical character, we achieve a beneficial effect in the cornerstone on C2 variance. The other aspect of support of the C2 variance is that it must be consistent with the objectives and purposes not only the municipal plan, but the Phillipsburg zoning ordinance mapping. And indeed, by becoming more compliant with what was envisioned in zoning ordinance, to establish a two-story productivity taken by that fulfills that promise. The factor of height was mentioned. I don't tweak that the proposed language, 27 feet, as compared to 35 foot standard medical complaint that's provided in the ordinance. Based upon all of those positive factors, I can see no detrimental effect pursuant of the application, particularly within the framework of what has been modified and added or subtracted from this application as a result of the board's interest in this application and as a result of the board's recommendation. But certainly this application taken into account by their very best to achieve not only the requirements of that form of marriage, but more importantly, the vision the board has to this kind of thing. So in sum, the grant of these proposed variants will not have a substantial impact, quite the opposite curve, and more importantly, it'll have a positive impact on the general welfare, providing for a more consistent development climate, the light of the town, of the neighborhood.
I have a very quick question.
Sure.
In terms of your testimony and your analysis, you visited the neighborhood, correct?
Yes, I have.
And we have the burden of demonstrating positive criteria and negative criteria.
Right.
Is it fair to say that your testimony was a confirmation of satisfaction of both the positive and the negative, and with reference to the purposes of zoning and section two of the law.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Mike, for the time.
Thank you. Board members, question? Comment? Being done? So I'm opening up to the public for any questions of the witness, the testimony that you just heard. Okay, seeing none, I bring it back to the board. Thank you for the vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I can make one quick
If
point.
you would, please.
Yeah,
Thank
so-
you. All right, thank you.
That's okay. You know, we heard the discussion about the front yard setback. I just wanted to clarify for the board, the reduction of the gross building area. Now, based on our calculation, has made the side yard setback conforming. And I think I heard testimony indicating that. I just wanted to point out that the required side yard setback on the bulk schedule on the cover sheet, the plan still reflects the previous application. And then that should be reduced, and it's our opinion that it's a conforming condition, so the only variances that are being sought are for the encroachments.
Yes, I was going to. Well,
One more time, any questions? No? All right. Members of the public, we've been through this, I think it's the third meeting now, so we've heard all the testimony, all the comments. Now is the opportunity, please, for you to come up, state your name, and provide testimony, questions, etc. on the application as a whole. Please. Takers? Sir? Thank you.
Keller, 189 Dale Ave. I was here in November.
We have to swear you, Mr. Keller. I hope you're going to make a statement now. Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you will provide with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please proceed, sir.
I was here in November, expressed objection application. That's when we went that time. Quickly, on the basis that so, and what the board was hearing. Applicable on the context of personal knowledge. I no longer have that objection. Modification satisfied. No objection to the application. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other members of the public? Okay, seeing none, we'll bring it back to the board. Oh, we have one, I'm sorry.
Last name, please, sir. So will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Thank you, sir. Please proceed.
I just want to clarify, one, I think the statement, we keep hearing about the two-story nature of the neighborhood, and because of there's only one story. Second. It's four, I have 2 out of 14. Well, but I just want to clarify, there's 4. Question that brings to my mind.
Our clients are contract workers or, hopefully,
Anybody else in the public? All right, seeing none, I bring it back to the board.
Proposal.
very short. I just looked at, the our clients, good faith efforts that showed, I wasn't here the first hearing, but the last two meetings, able to work with our team and, help with the process. Will make the neighborhood very proud. Mitigated the variances, that you are here demonstrated so longer than the side yard variance. But what we're really talking about is bringing the front on the two streets that were a corner lot. So, we are needing to comply with setback for the ordinance and hope that you're able to think that you are in fact here and plans as a plan. It will come back to me if it's not done. So not only represent that I'm a client, but I also my problem. So I would ask, based upon the satisfaction of the positive and negative criteria that MLUL, that the small variance be reconciled with the benefits of Walker said, to cleaning up the site, cleaning up the house, and presenting a brand new structure. So, hope I've answered all your questions along the way. Thank you.
I want to thank Mr. Price for, because I did share the same feelings that probably Mr. Keller and Mr. Zoller did in the first hearing. Just by way of the way it was presented, the way we started was thankfully the way we ultimately did not end. And your efforts are certainly recognized, and I thank you guys for really presenting the application the way they should be presented, because we didn't start that way. So thanks for that. And there's been significant improvements that I think do work with the property and the obstacles and challenges that they face with the house being built on an angle. And I'm satisfied with everything they've done. Certainly the effort.
The board members? Comments? From my side here, I can't really add much more to that. I mean, I think it's a huge improvement from the first presentations that were made here. I'm very familiar with this neighborhood. I used to live in the neighborhood. I recognize we have properties throughout the town that are, skewed. I know the house across the street is skewed, as was pointed out. I'm pleased that we're not looking to, increase the footprint. In other words, the foundation will still remain as it currently is. I am satisfied with the changes that were made, especially now we're cutting the porch a little bit to the comments that Mr. Breland has made. When, we'll have we'll have the usual as-built on-site work.
Yeah.
I just want to be sure that the dry well is an acceptable amount that mitigates.
Yeah, we will
That
work
is-
with the applicant. on
Okay.
that. Generally, we look for 3 inches of rain on the tributary area.
Okay.
And
Council, you
some
agree on that?
Soil tests that
Okay.
are necessary to make sure that. the dry well works.
Okay, all right. I know that there was a question, this might just be splitting hairs here, but I know there was a question about arborvitaes and shielding. I noticed that there were 9 arborvitaes that were put in there. I don't recall what the size called out. And is the 9 enough? So it's on the last page. I mean, honestly, forgive me, I don't want to take up more time here trying to find it, but I do see the 9 called out, that I see.
There's 7 feet.
Okay. And a 60-inch wide mulch bed, Michael, do you feel, I mean, I'm gonna have to defer to you. I've been up there for years, I think that's enough, but.
Yeah, I mean, you run the risk if you put more in and competing with each other and
Okay,
it looked like, I don't know, Frank, it looked like you were gonna make a comment.
I was gonna say to bring it, like, whatever, obviously, your office recommends, I would be fine with, whether there's 9 that, straight across, or whether they were staggered, or,
I mean, I would just, like, maybe, if the applicant's comfortable with it, this is obviously on a flat piece of paper, that maybe the final settings made in the field, and see what they're gonna look like, if they're gonna achieve the objectives.
okay, all right. I'm okay then. Those are the only things that have called out that I saw. So, again, one more time, anybody on the board, any comments, questions? Okay. All right, okay. All right, is there a motion, from board members to approve this application as presented with all of the caveats that Mr. Kelly will have in the agreements with council? Based on the plans that we have and all the testimony that we've heard over the last few meetings, but again, specifically to the changes and the modifications that were made, with the plans that were presented to us 2 nights.
I'll make a motion with the conditions, and I just want to emphasize that in that back corner, that nothing gets placed there. That could be added to the, as one of the conditions.
We have that in there already. Gail, I'll share with you the draft to make sure everything is accurate before it gets adopted, but we do have that in there, that nothing will be developed by way of accessory structures along the new street frontage.
Thank you.
I'll second that. All right, thank you.
Vice Chairwoman Bergen?
Yes.
Board Member Wardala?
Yes.
Board Member Petrino?
Yes.
Board Member Gallo?
Yes.
Chairman Tirico?
Yes.
Mayor Kuczynski? Yes. Board Member Butler?
Yes.
Alternate Conti?
Yes. Good luck.
Good luck, and thank you. And thank you for all the changes. Okay. Yeah, I will. All right. All right. Moving on to the final part of our agenda. We're going to application 2024-16, Daniel and Claire Clark, 95 Midwood Avenue, Allendale, Block 2008, Lot 2, application, new front porch, second floor addition pursuant to 270-37, parentheses A2, 270-64C, parentheses 2, and 270-63, parentheses 3. This is carried from the November 13th meeting, taking into consideration questions and comments that we had. And sir, again, we got to do this very important.
No, we don't.
No,
Mr. Clark,
it's Clark.
I had a colleague of mine, you're Mr. Clark, I presume?
Yes.
I had a colleague of mine at that last meeting. My notes reflect your professional was sworn in, qualified. Were you also sworn in, sir, at that meeting? You recall?
You were going, I guess, yeah, I can't remember honestly.
Okay, so you're all sworn in, so you all remain under oath, and your qualifications remain in good standing and licenses are current and active?
Okay.
Never know.
Hey, we gotta ask, you never know, right?
So,
So I'm satisfied, you're okay.
very good, yeah, absolutely. So gentlemen, please proceed. This continuation of the prior hearing, assume everything from that record is carrying forward to this meeting this evening, and you gentlemen may continue.
So at the last meeting, comments. Like, so dated the 12/15/2024. Big item in here with floor area ratio. You have now. Decrease. About 40. That's not complete flat. And we basically reduced the footprint, down about 237 square feet per. In addition to that, as far as the floor area, or the floor building area, we reduced the shed as well. I'll talk about it earlier. Because, in 30.2 was the square ratio of the had square ratio. Have open porch also, opposite side of the house. It's about 34.5 total. The last meeting, it actually said that we were in flooding edition, we weren't. Same exact plan we had previously. Just an open porch, so yeah, open one. Is the footprint. Another thing that we changed, I should, and the other thing we changed, I should mention actually, is the roof over the garage. Previous mission, storage, and basically renovate the roof. At this point, the thing we're doing to the garage, backside of the roof, we're going to take that off, and I can explain that if they have any questions, but it's implement to leave it on the side like this. Or you can see the existing floor plan. There's a door that comes into the existing garage. Look at B1, pursue the first floor plan. garage, go down the stairs, go into the house, very good. It's actually a step down what that door is. So what we're supposed to do is to work the garage, the backside of the garage, back wall, and to do so, the roof is very low. Pretty nice. I bring that up to clear that. Exactly.
Wait, sorry, can you just touch on that one more time? I'm looking at Z3. I'm looking at Z3. I'm sorry, I was focused on the door. You said you moved the door.
It's on Z, but Z2 shows it. If you look at the highlighted and the lighter lines shows it just
Okay.
moving over. Yeah,
Got it. Okay.
Over here shows.
Yeah, that's okay. No, that's fair. That's what I was referring
Basically,
to.
the roof comes down low, the
Yep.
door. Oh, that's where the new door is going.
Yep.
It doesn't, this doesn't work.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, we're 4.4, but we're not increasing the price.
Okay.
You know, actually, the side yard setbacks increase. They're 19.66. 19.66 now required, right? I think 4.31. That changed. Oh, we don't have any sites.
I guess what you're saying is, I mean, in theory, you're not changing the height of the garage, just the pitch of the back.
Yeah,
To
theoretically,
get
the back,
space.
the back wall will be like.
And it's just on the back.
On
Just
the back side.
yeah, the
of
back-
garage.
Got, yeah.
The street.
Yeah.
We made it better. You'll never know anything happened.
Okay. It would just to clarify. Thank you.
That's it now. If you walk around there like I know. Yeah, even outside. So yeah, you won't even notice. Yeah, the other thing I want to mention, I guess, I brought it up with the shed. There's an existing shed there that's 20 by 10. Old shed, a lot of it. It's much bigger than what's needed. The idea was that in the first meeting, they were just going to renovate it to like a house, like fix it. Yeah. What we decided to do was to read honest 8 by 10 part of the shed. Basically take away the rest. Reason being the shed would either be that big, but it's bigger to be expensive to renovate. That side of the shed is actually. Right.
So again, looking at, that's what I was looking at it, the left-hand side is in better shape than the right.
Yes. Okay. Photograph.
And you plan to leave that, not moving, just that footprint, the whole thing?
Siding and the door. Right now, yeah, it's actually. It's big. And it's big shed. And it makes sense and it helps us with it. And it's thoughtfully and.
The existing one you said was like 20 feet. Right?
Wow. It's like a little.
There you go. There's somebody might want to rent it.
Different application.
Yeah, right.
But there is a shed on the neighbor's property to the west, adjacent to it.
Uh-huh.
Very close. You can see this one's like right on the property.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
We're gonna take away the slab. Yeah. But we're gonna.
Get a half the slab and get rid of it.
Yeah, right. The dash line, but it's gonna be right.
All right.
Well, there's only one big thing to talk about. That's it for the house.
Right.
But then the other thing was, I guess, a lot of discussion about the neighborhood. I could hand them out if you want to. And I guess we got photographs of the house.
And this is going to be a new document that you're introducing? So we'll have to mark this as an exhibit. We'll mark it up. So we'll mark it as applicant exhibit at A1, we'll call it with today's date, January 15th.
Good.
You can leave your Z4 reference, just this is for our record. We're going to reference it as
You don't
A1.
need to write it on there.
Are we going to keep that board, Linda, the full-size board? No? The handout's fine. Yeah, you don't need to mark your, mounted exhibit.
Yeah, we could share.
Yeah, we can, yeah, we can
Okay.
share.
The board members review them.
And maybe even the photographs of your house. I don't have the whole photograph of the house. That's down.
So let's mark those separate.
It's the two photographs of the house.
It's two photos and it's multiple copies of, it. Is that what we're saying? So we can mark that collectively as A2. Series of photos, two originals.
No, there's two sets of, two different views. There should be 10 possibilities of views. Yeah, I mean, it's like, this one's better. Here's one. Well, I'm showing you that the house is situated way to the west on the property.
I know you mentioned you reduced the floor area ratio. What was it initially?
Yes. Not, you're talking about the actual percentage?
Right. Was that like
30.2.
and now it's 27.
3.
And I really appreciate you guys answers again and discussing the FAR, but I just have to ask the question. Less than 3 square feet off of the side. What would that 0.3, or, yeah, because you're at 20, so you're not percent, I'm talking about percentage, sorry, not square feet. But your required is 24.6, the proposed is 27.3, right? Right, so it's less than 3, like that. Percentage wise.
That's a lot of.
How much would that, I don't know what the
Yeah,
calculation
what does that
is. That's
equate
just
to in
curious.
square? What does that equate to in square?
What is that?
Percentage wise, it's so close.
It looks close, but it's not. 325 square feet is the max. Divided by 2 is 162 again, 162 square feet per floor. At 26 foot deep, we have to bring the addition in about 7 feet. We have about 10 foot in, and it's not gonna work. They need to go better. There, and we already brought that in 4 feet. I think, well, people put in the modest like room.
So this is important testimony that we have on the record, so
Right.
please, I'm sorry, we're not pressuring.
No, I understand.
Just having this on there is, it's important for us to know that.
But
Let's make a decision.
Yeah.
there's no way, would it, really still be intended to return. It's off the bedroom on the first floor to the private. Maybe reduce that down. There's some, it's a little bit, there's two slightly different photos, and we
Just kind of move the camera a little bit.
yeah, it's part of my work. What we had from you guys last time was much bigger.
And it's not called out, it's not a game breaker. Just curious, I just saw in the pictures, you have a fence there.
Yeah, we have to rip it.
You're gonna rip it down, or you're gonna replace it? To the right, I'm
Yeah.
assuming that you would take the part looking at the home to the right-hand side.
Yes.
Obviously, you need that to expand the house, okay? But are you taking the whole, are you gonna replace it? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think we might still discuss the specifics there, but I think we would probably want to keep some of that just so we have a way to prevent your kids from running out there. So that's why we put the fence in the first place. But obviously, a lot of that fence is going to have to go. That's in the future.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, take out that.
All right, and there's no fence on the other side, and no proposed,
There's a gate.
there is a gate.
That matches the style of the fence on 4 feet.
Okay. Is that where it's depicted 4.4 EX? Or is it toward the back?
Yeah, it's actually behind the. Oh.
Oh, it's behind the
Behind the
AC.
AC, that's right. Yeah, so it's about 50 feet. Yeah.
Okay, so it's roughly where
Roughly
the 15.6 is called out.
Close,
Yeah, right
Okay.
around there.
Okay,
A little bit.
all right.
Just a step right there.
And that's proposed to remain.
Yeah.
That's not gonna be touched. Okay. So then therefore, when everything is said and done, when your wife approves, the whole property as fenced in right now will remain fenced in. That's kind of the plan. Okay. Again, not a deal breaker, just trying to understand where you guys are going. Yeah, okay. All right. Anyways.
What part?
Great time to move to. There's not the
Actually,
land
it's
here.
nice to like New England has a kind of like nice. I think it's really.
Um. Again, not splitting hairs, just another curiosity. Um, your future patio, is that rounded for any reason? It's just there. It's just depicted. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Redrawn it.
All right. Okay. Because it doesn't seem to affect anything, measurement wise or anything like that.
Right.
No.
But we just put something on it as a placeholder.
Okay.
It can be much bigger than that, I guess. We're 31.3. And based with using that patio, which is like.
It's 300 you pulled it. It looks like
Yeah,
you got
we just came up with a number 300. But yeah,
just a hold.
we do that on a lot of projects when it's closer, but in this case, we got to go for 50. So. I think that's way, again, that we don't want to have a map. Like turn it around. Patio there.
Board members, any other questions? Okay. Michael?
But I mean, I looked at the numbers and the revised plans and I confirmed that, they did reduce the square footage, which, reduces the gross building area to square area ratio. It does look like they're no longer increasing the height of the garage. I mean, that was the primary concern of the board, given the proximity of the garage to the piece of property.
Okay.
That's closest part of the structure, to the property. But second story addition on it, was some concern about encroaching on spare lane space.
One of the things I noticed, there was vegetation on the left-hand side. When, right, what's your neighbor to the left? They come in, you guys have strip of
I don't know if that was on their property or
corn and neighbors.
the garage is only 4.
It's only 4 off the property, right? That was one of the reasons I asked the question about the fence.
Yeah.
Okay. But I seem to remember that there was a concern. I mean, almost not here, so. Or, do you guys remember anything about this? All right. So, okay.
That was probably another application.
But there was another.
In the same neighborhood.
Because there was one recently in the same neighborhood. Okay.
I mean, we would obviously be concerned about if piers are discharged. Sure that, I believe it's stormwater management out there now, but given the increase in impervious coverage, there would be a plot plan soil requirement. Look at the area and move downspouts. Request that something be provided. Not only from the house, but I think given the fact that they're making changes. They're proposing changes to the shed, given the location of the shed with respect to the property lines. Should be consideration of, what kind of runoff comes off of the shed. Yeah, the code requires soil movement plot plan for 5 acres square. So that would all be addressed in a subsequent step. We had our typical condition, questions regarding the colors, the camera equipment and lighting. I don't remember, given the time that's passed, if we got through all that with satisfaction or not.
Why don't you readdress it, so we have it? Okay.
Downlighting something, flaring into the street or anything. Yeah, like that, like vegetation.
Smart man.
Not pretty.
Michael, anything else?
I mean, I don't have to.
No question. So the plans are beautiful. It's really good product. But did you consider garage it right?
Yeah, we skipped the last time. I mean, I stared at that, and I understand how to make that work. If you look at some of the photos on the front of the property, there's a telephone pole, and there's a massive oak tree. And we didn't thread the needle. Those two board tear down the oak tree, they definitely don't want to tear down.
Right.
Give the tree line, the tree completely fine. And it just kind of would end up really neat. I think with the current plans, what it does is sort of, the idea would be to pull your eye more towards the center of gravity of the property as opposed to being on the left, and that was mostly in that area. But we definitely picked that. Well, did it.
Yeah, I would have your numbers.
Well, yeah, I think
Didn't have to add your numbers much, it could have been, tighter, too far, essentially, but I get it.
you had to take down that existing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just that.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the board? All right, open it up to the public. Seeing none, I bring it back. Discussions. Okay. Seeing and hearing none. Listen, I know it's the second time you've been here. Okay, I agree. I appreciate what you did here. Okay. you know, we understand the properties in that area. Okay, listening to the board, taking into consideration, you guys sat through a couple of things, right? You know, and you hear, you know, you hear the way the board operates, the questions that we ask. And I think you guys have done a great job. I think you blew it on one, but should have. Take it from one of your notes, believe me. So, all kidding aside, having said that, I'm appreciative of what you guys did. And I understand, I wouldn't want to take down a tree either, but I'm happy. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, to Mr. Dallow's point, you know, perhaps it would apply for Katie or whatever proper terms would be, but I think what you did here, given what we're doing, is the best thing that could be done. So, board members, do I have a motion to approve with, again, all the caveats that Mr. Kelly has written down as the applicant has agreed to? Is there anything else that we were missing? Not seeing any, can I have a motion to approve, please? Okay, do I have a second? Second. Okay.
Thank you, Bergen. Yes. Board Member Gonzalez.
Yes.
Board Member Katrina.
Yes.
Board Member Gallo.
Yes.
Member Fico.
Yes.
Board Member Butler.
Yes.
Yes.
Good luck.
So, next meeting, we go through a resolution. You can start doing what you need to do, get into the building office, but, you know, the next meeting, we'll just read the resolution like you heard something that's gonna be like heard something. Okay. That's the official, that's
Yeah.
the official.
We prepare the memorializing document, which captures the approved terms and conditions. You'll get a copy of that document, and then from there, you can move towards resolution compliance if there is any, and it sounds like any plan reconciliation is gonna be needed, and then you can move towards the building department at that point. Just in time for the ground to thaw.
All right. All right. All right. Thank you, and thank
Hope
you
your
for.
kids feel better.
Yeah. Let's see, I understand the switching was because we have certain board members that have to recuse themselves. That's why we switched it up.
Yeah.
And put you guys to the end. Yeah. Okay. All right. And you can see also.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Clark, I'll give you back a bunch of these photos. You can have fun with all the duplicates and.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're gonna keep this two for the board, for the record, okay, the rest are, we have two unique ones, there was two unique ones in that package, it's hard to tell, yeah. We'll get dizzy trying to see which ones are different from each other. Got it, thank you, sir.
Are those extra copies? Are those extra copies?
Yeah, do you want?
Yeah, I'll just,
All right.
I only
Yeah,
need
you can-
one of each.
That is, all right, morning. Yeah. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna, I gotta open this up to the public for any comments, questions.
Thank you.
Seeing none, I bring it back. Is there any other business? Tyler's not here, so he's gonna be the liaison telling us anything that goes on, so obviously he's left. I just wanna say once again, thank you for everything. Looking forward to a productive year again. 7 o'clock starts, 9:30. Hopefully it's the time we'll be out of here, give or take. And that's it. Any other questions, comments? Motion to adjourn. Second? Second. Thank you. All in favor? Right. Thank you very much. See you guys next month. Appreciate it.